That is Magic the Gathering. Every card is busted. Land for turn. Land for turn commander. Hey, what's up, everybody? Land for turn commander here. Back at it again. Second episode. Commander bangers from 2023. I'm super late. Everybody's already made their videos, but, you know, we just started the channel, so we still got to jump on that. There's a lot of sets. I went through all of them, and I picked out, like, you know, some of my favorites. We're going to kind of skim through a few of them because there's, like, cycles and different stuff that is just, oh, my gosh, this video is going to take forever. All right, so let's go first. Right off the bat, Phyrexia all will be one. Let's talk about the dominant cycle. The good ones are the good ones. You know which ones the good ones are because you use them in a deck that's specific to what they do. The blue one, meh, you know, attracts it maybe. All that proliferate. In all honesty, the best one, Mondrak. It doubles all your tokens. It can get indestructible. Why was there so many words on this card? And it's only 4. It's an anointed procession that can kill somebody. Eternal Wanderer. It's a planeswalker. I know it's 6 mana. People don't like slow cards or, you know, these higher stuff. Like, 6 mana is okay, man. Sometimes like my favorite card does work. But Eternal Wanderer, it's got that like silent arbiter effect, so you can only swing at it with one creature. It bounces things for value. Oh, I'm pretty sure it can bounce other people's stuff, so you can get it off the stuff into the end step. It makes a token that has double strike. So you have to 1v1 this token to do any damage to the Eternal Wanderer. Ooh, boy. That's a good card. It's a good card. It's got a lot of value built into it. It's a planeswalker, though. You know, people don't like planeswalkers as a commander. Next on our list, Jor Kadeen. Another Boros equipment, all the stuff. Boros, what Boros does, they print one of these legends in almost every single set, but the mass constant printing of them increases their potency, I would say. In an equipment deck, you kind of don't want that many creatures, but any of them that draw cards, oh, money. I just can't wait until Dogmeat from the Fallout Magic stuff comes out. He kind of wants you to spread them out. Lots of creatures. Put like one equipment on each one, swing, accrue the junk tokens. It's a different style of equipment. Voltron gets boring. You're going to hit somebody, and then you can try to pull the fakie where you go, I'm going to hit everybody. I'm just going to keep going around in a circle. They don't believe you. You're going to kill them. You're going to put some dumb, huge thing on it, and you're going to kill them. So they remove your stuff, and you're bored. But Jor Kadeen, sick. Draws cards, very easy to get his power up, and then has trample. One of the best keywords you can get on something you're going to put extra stuff on. What do we got next on our list here? Clever Concealment. Teferi's Protection at Home. This card's fantastic. A lot of stuff is obviously you can be really strong in your commander decks. You can have haste and you can hit right away. But a lot of stuff is set up. A lot of cool commanders that bring out permanents or different stuff, and you get all this stuff out here. You need a turn to go around the table. This card is going to save your bacon when that goes around the table, and all your stuff's untapped. Now, when you're attacking and you're turning stuff sideways, unless you have Vigilance somehow, which it's not as many cards as you think it would be on. I think Vigilance is great. But yeah, Clever Concealment, the phasing stuff out, Convoke. I am just in love with Convoke. There's a lot of cards that are down in the list from other sets that have Convoke now. Building boards in Commander is quite easy. You know, those first few turns where you're just kind of getting the value out, putting out stuff, and all of a sudden it's way too much, and boom, you have enough creatures to tap for it. It's a free spell. I mean, people hate free spells and people love free spells. They're the best spells. Next on the list from Phyrexia, all will be one. And the last on the list, Sky Hunter Strike Force. I love attacking, turning things sideways. Your creature's getting +3/+3. And this guy's just got flying, so he's going to be a beater. I put this in Ishin, and you're doubling the melee. You're going to kill people. Your 1/1s are 7/7s. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's about Phyrexia, all will be one. There's plenty of cards to go. We're going to try to move through all this. Next, March of the Machines. Jump right into it. Blue. C double. 2 blue. Instant. Can't be copied. C double. C double has a lot of interaction. It's almost decision paralysis because there's so many things you could do. It's any spell, so yours or your opponent's. It's any creature, so it's yours or any opponent's. The options are endless. Who wouldn't want to open and be like, I can do kind of anything I want to do here. I need to assess the board, and this is this 4 mana spell. And let's be real. 8 cards in somebody's graveyard? That is nothing. There's so many graveyard decks. There's so many decks that just randomly get stuff in the graveyard. So it's a great card. It's only 4 mana. It's instant. You got options. It's just decision paralysis on a card. Hitting somebody's like Tutor, obviously really fantastic. Hitting a removal spell or a counter spell to help out other stuff you got. You know, you save a mana up late game. You want to get out a threat, 4 or 5 drop that's going to do a lot of damage, and they try to hit you with something. Boom. Copy it. Counter theirs. Get another one of a creature that's on your board or their board that's going to help your game plan. the card is fantastic. It's done work. Next, Hoarding Broodlord. This thing is awesome. You forget that it's a beater. Runescar Demon hits for like a decent amount of damage. It's a flying threat. This thing is a beater. It's a 7/6. Huh? Also, it's got Convoke, and it tutors up a card that then has Convoke. You're putting Convoke on cards. It says spells you cast from exile have Convoke. I mean, you can pair this with some weird stuff. It is in black, so the exile is weird. If you like Prosper, he does it, right? But then you kind of want to pair it with red. Red's really going to do that exile stuff well. And I mean, you cast like a Ren's Resolve and you get 2 cards. And now those 2 cards have Convoke. That's fantastic. Especially with, plenty of fodder and crap. Pair this with the backside of a Burgie. Is lovely. You draw 1 card for turn, land, whatever, doesn't matter. Discard it. 2 cards. They all have Convoke. You're moving. You're schmooving.
Moving along.
We should schmoove along. An uncommon. Next is an uncommon. Green card. It's a 3-drop. It's called Kami of Whispered Hopes. It is a hardened scales on a shtick. But that shtick can tap for a crap ton of mana. There's a lot of counter synergies. I'm a big fan of counter. I say big fan a lot. I should get a big fan and just put it right here. I love counter strategies. There's so many of these cards now. The new Ozolith has this as well. Conclave Mentor, Hardened Scales. All these things just either add 1 or even double. It's a really good card, especially when you're gonna move counters around. Forgotten Ancient with this thing. Oh my gosh, you're gonna put 10 counters on the homie, and you're gonna be able to cast anything in your hand, like easy peasy. That'll happen very fast too, like randomly, boop boop. It'll just happen, and he's just gonna tap for 1 right off the bat. He's gonna do all the things that all the other cards do, but he's a creature and it's an uncommon. It's crazy. They're nuts. Watsy, you're nuts. Next on the list, Yargle and Multani. Ooh, vanilla baby. Ooh, vanilla baby, but it's an 18/6. Pair this with a Ruthless Technomancer. Put a Parallel Lives on the board and Ruthless Technomancer for 36 treasures. Holy crap. Obviously, the power is nuts. 6-drop, you're in green. It's going to be easy to get out. I love these Power Matter cards. They've been doing this a lot lately. You'll see more on the list later. Oh, the Power Matter stuff is cool. It's very, very cool. It's bringing up resurgence of old decks and old cool commanders that you like tinker with and you didn't find it. But then here comes out something that looks awesome. This set has a bunch of team-ups, legendary team-ups. I could talk about every single one. They have decks. You can make sweet decks from them. But we're gonna keep moving on. Omnath. I've never built a 5-color deck, but Omnath, Locus of All, it's like a commander deck. It's like your commander deck tribal. The advantage of getting an extra card every turn and sometimes dark ritualing for any color you could possibly want, pretty much. When you have 3 colors on a Maelstrom Wanderer that you flip over, and you can use those, or you can go green and cast something else, or go red and cast something else, or blue and cast something else. It's very strong. Obviously, there's a lot of top deck manipulation in Commander, and the deck is very strong. It's super duper strong. It's a 5-color commander that you get to play on turn 4. That's really good. That's really good. Also, in your upkeep, when you untap, upkeep, boom, cast an instant, some tutor that puts something on top, ramp, it's too strong. It's very, very strong. Scroll Rack and Sensei's Divine Top with it is just so good. It's very strong. And it's all the dope commanders that are kind of like generically strong. You put Muldrotha, you put Kess, you put Maelstrom Wanderer, you put the new Joda that just makes them all huge. Just kind of legendary tribal. That too. Nesting Dovehawk, 4-drop with that populates on combat. I forget about the counterpart. When you make tokens, you get counters on nesting. So it's a flying beater. It's gonna do a lot of damage. The populate is insane. You make a token of this thing, your brain can't handle it. You're just gonna probably concede out of sheer mental space. You don't want to even. Yeah, it's too much. It can be way too much. It's very, very strong, though. They've been doing a lot of token creations, doubling, populate this, that. You populate this, and now you have a Mondrak on the battlefield. It gets out of hand. It's very strong, and it's a flying threat. And it's a counter strategy if you really want to do that, too. It's like the perfect... God, if only this could fit in that weird new Sultai pirate guy. Populate and proliferate back and forth. Like, this thing would be insane. But it's white. I digress. The next one, Guardian Scale Lord. Backup is awesome. Counter strategies. Here we go again. It's unfortunate it is non-land, because sometimes you just need a land. Sometimes you just need to attack and get a land. That's okay. I wish more Sun Titan effects like that, like Savine's Rack and Sun Titan. Those are some of my favorites. But yeah, Guardian Scale Lord. Especially with you are filling the graveyard and it's just reanimation now. It's just good reanimation, especially with big creatures. You're putting this counter on another creature, and that power can be much bigger when it's pretty much got haste, because as long as you have something on the battlefield. And then the next turn, look at you. You still have something that's attacking that can have that ability and draw something back in. And like a 3-drop always, you're already in something that is thinking about power to get bigger stuff back. Guardian Scale Lord Dragon just ends up bringing back 3-drops, That's fantastic. I'll take that all day. That is my Sun Titan, baby. And the last card on the list from March of the Machine is Uncivil Unrest. A red enchantment that's going to give your creatures, your non-token creatures, so it's less good in token strategy, but the non-token creature is going to get a counter, aka counterplay, or haste. Haste is fantastic. We'll take that all day. And then if you're in a counter strategy, double damage on attacks. Oh, it might be win more. I am like the biggest fan of win more. If all the cards are win more, you win, right? But yeah, the card's great. It's an enchantment. It is kind of spendy, but that double damage I think is fantastic. Especially you get some flyers, you got some evasion, or just big boys with trample. That's a lot of damage. You can put a lot of damage to them. I'm trying to end games here, baby. I ain't trying to be in a 3-hour game. Oh, hell no. All right. Next, Aftermath. There's only 3. It's a small set, but there's actually some sick-ass legends. But I just picked out three cards that I really like. First off, Narset Enlightened Exile. Creatures you control have prowess. She has prowess. This card is awesome because of the options. It reminds me of my Volrath deck. You have so many options that it's almost like decision paralysis, but you're creating the strategy of kind of just flooding the board because you want to, that first part, creatures have prowess, that's fantastic. You can double that up. You can have separate instances of prowess and they'll all trigger every single time. A dope card I'll talk about in Doctor Who is Nanogene Conversion. You make all your creatures her, and then you attack, and you get cards from everywhere. That prowess, those are all prowess triggers. Your board is going to kill people. I mean, a little bit of evasion would be great, or maybe some trample, but you're in Jeskai, so that's not going to help as much. But Narset's awesome. A lot of decisions. Each game is going to end up different. Just attacking with her, like, cast a spell. Now she's a 4/5, and you attack with her, and you hit somebody's Cultivate, you are going to feel amazing. Jeskai needs that. Maybe not 3 visits in Nature's Lore, but like Rampant Growth, Farseek, all those things are going to be money. And you're going to ramp in Jeskai, and you're going to steal all the other players' spells. It's fantastic. All the good removal that they use. Your deck just got a bunch more removal. And card draw. And all the other things, because you can use theirs, but you have yours. You know what you're doing with your graveyard before you start. I'm going to attack and just get my thing that I've been playing, see the truth, and draw some cards and stuff. I'm going to look at everybody else and make a good decision on what the board needs, right? It's a fantastic card. So many options. Next, Rocco Street Chef. I made this, and you would think people want to call it Group Hug, but it is the least. It is the least group hug. They get 1 card, and if they don't cast it, it's gone forever. So sometimes early game, he's low. He's a 3-drop. Some early games, you're going to put that out. They're going to get 6-drop and just like say goodbye to their good recursion or their big beater or something that's just gone. And if not, they give you a counter on a creature, and you get to pick, and a food. So the food is, it's here and there. You have cards that help with the food, Inspiring Statuary and Jaheira, Friend of the Forest, I think it is. Letting them tap for mana, that's really awesome. Or I kind of win some life gain strategies with it too, because of that's 2 mana to gain 3 life. Archangel of Thune, putting counters on all your stuff. Exactly what we're trying to do here, because you're going to put a bunch of the spells that do, like we said, Kami of the Whispered Hopes earlier. The new Ozolith, stuff like that. They're going to put counters out there. Boom, 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 boom. Make him big. He's really, really fun. He's very cheap. He doesn't feel like that bad. People are like, okay, I can leave him around. But then all of a sudden, he's a 2/4 base. All of a sudden, he's hitting you for like 7 damage. And people are like, what the heck? Am I going to die to commander damage? This guy's just trying to serve me up some grub, dog. Yeah, he'll get you killed. But yes, and the last one from Aftermath is Open the Way. 4 people in the game. You can go up to 6. You get 4 lands from the top. You don't going to get basics or nothing like that. We're just going to go from the top. And if you have good land base, you're going to hit decent stuff. You might hit some basics, right? But you might hit some good color fixing, some good dual lands. The card is amazing. It's a really good card. Especially X-Spell stuff where you can copy it, or even if it's a 3-player game, for 5 mana, you get 3 lands. That's fantastic. And they're on the battlefield. Open the Way is dope. I mean, green didn't need this crap, but here we are. This card is amazing in Magus Lucia Kane, the Teamer X-Spell commander from the Warhammer stuff. It's busted. 6 mana, 6 lands. I'm going to get fined. Wilds of Eldraine. These sets are so good. They know what they're doing for commander players. It's nuts. Knight of Sweet's Revenge. It's an enchantment. Brings out a food. But your food's tapped for green, and you can sack it for 7. 5 green, sack this, and your creatures get +X/+X for how many foods you have. So in a food strategy, obviously, it's insane. It's just tech. It's just good tech. It's like that Jaheira and Inspiring Statuary, stuff like that, where these artifacts that can sometimes be sitting there. If it's a clue or a treasure, you're using them up. But the food, it's, when I'm about to die, plea for help, I'll gain some life maybe. But you can use it for mana and stuff. This card is amazing. It's ramp. It facilitates that food stuff, and it's like an overrun. It's not trample, but it's gonna make your creatures big enough to do a lot of damage. And the game, that's what we're here for. Mosswood Dread Knight, Value Town Banana Pants. You're always doing something. 2 mana in Commander is like the perfect thing. It might be like the best thing about Commander is 2 mana stuff. You're playing your lands, you play your spells. Late game, you're just like, I got a few mana hanging around. What do? I'm gonna use this guy. Especially in like a sacrifice style thing where you have good sack outlets and stuff, this guy has value. So much value. Drawing, he's a beater. He's not like big beater, but you can push some damage through, that's for sure. And then you just have the chance to keep casting them. The exile stuff doesn't, you're in Golgari, which is, there's some stuff, but just value. You just can like the loop, the Ferris wheel of value. Ferris wheel of value. Just circles and circles and circles with this guy. He's awesome. Bramble Familiar, 2 mana rock that late games like gets creatures on the battlefield. And you mill. The mill part is huge. Mana dorks can tend to be boring as F, where they're just like, I know I need to play this, and if I play some, maybe Guardian Projects and crap like that, I can get some good value out of them, but they're mostly going to ram me in my bigger spells. This guy just says, well, just get me out here quick, let's get some mana going, let's get some big spells going, and then bounce back to your hand and play the big spell. It's like the Mosswood Dread Knight. You just have this cycle. You can go back and forth. Cool? Because that just goes back into exile, and you can cast the creature again. It's kind of dope. I love that. The mega value is insane. Lich Knight's Conquest. 5 mana might be expensive, but in like a heavy token strategy or a heavy artifact, enchantment not so much, but the heavy artifact, ooh, daddy. It's 5 mana to get like a bunch of crap back. Graveyard is such a huge theme in Commander. It does very well. There's a lot of very good cards, and it just got another banger. 5 mana, get a bunch of crap back. It's not 5 mana, get 1 or 2. Is 5 mana, get 5 back. That's fantastic. That is so good. Fodder, tokens, artifacts. You want to sacrifice artifacts and tokens. What the hell? Bernard, the Ginger Sculptor. I love this guy. He's so sick. He makes those slicer cards that are kind of trash. Makes him dope. I put this in like a pod brew, birthing pod. So you sack that thing, you get that mana value going upwards, right? The +1. But then it comes back, and that token has the mana value. You could do it again. But, they're big butts. No, he makes them 3/3s, but when you come out and you make golems, 5/5s with trample, you can get the job done, baby. We're going to kill them. The Wing Splicer, the one that gives them flying, fantastic. That Nesting Dovehawk I talked about earlier, that card is busted in this deck. The token doublers, they're creatures. Adrix Nev, Mondrak, the new Osier Talk, which we'll talk about later. Card's dope. It's super cool. Misleading Signpost. I love sneaky cards. Sneaky cards that people don't. It's like it didn't grab on super hard right off the bat when it came out of like the Commander decks. The card's really good. Like it would murder any of my strategies. The card is really good for that. Just people want to be aggressive and attack, and you're gonna say, hey, good one, dog. I know I'm a threat, but now you're attacking him. Good job. You guys should fight about it. Songbird's Blessing, enchantment, aura, that when the creature attacks, you go like cascade style down through your deck until you get another enchantment, aura. And it is put on the battlefield, aka it doesn't have to be that same creature. You can put it on a different creature. It's pretty dope. I think people have talked about this card. It's a pretty good card. Next on the list, and final one from Wilds of Eldraine, is going to be Shadow Puppeteers. So many times I want to make a deck where like the winds are like you kind of got dirtily little 1/1s. Bro, this card turns them into dragons. This card's dope. It can make your little like flying army super strong. This card is super awesome. It has to be flying, so it's a little tighter, but I'm a big creature kind of guy. Put counters, make things big, smash in. But like sometimes I want to play fairies, like Alayla, the new Alayla. You cast spells on other people's turns, you get the little 1/1s. But sometimes you can't just win the game like that. This card wins the game like that. This card's dope. And that'll do it for Wilds of Eldraine. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, Ixalan. I'm kind of going through like the main ones, and then I'll hit up all those like specialty Doctor Who, Lord of the Rings stuff. I ain't gonna leave it out. It's too good. It's too broken. We all know that. First one, the Osier cycle is pretty sick just in general. First of all, the white one, Osier Tag Deepest Foundation. I mean, you're tripling tokens. creature tokens, but like, you know, I won't, if I'm making treasures, I'm not going to put this in the deck. I don't need it. The creatures though. Whoo, mama. Like an Elspeth Sun's Champion creates 9 1/1s for 6 mana. That's awesome. That's so fire. This card's awesome. And the fact that you can get it back, it's one of the easier ones to get back from its death side, from its land side. And the other Osier, Kaslim, Deepest Growth. I talked about this earlier. Power matters. Making this guy's power bigger and slamming in to get a creature in a land. Oh, money. I put this in Henzi. You get the Blitz. Instead of 5 mana, he's 4 mana, literally right after you play Henzi, and you're going to get a creature in a land in the first 6. Like, we're getting close to a hand size. You're probably going to get a land and a creature. Like, easy. And, like, beaters. You cheat out a bunch of big, huge things. It's freaking awesome. God, I have so many cards from Ixalan because it's fire. It's a fire commander set. Skullspore Nexus. Power matters. Here we are again. And when you throw creatures around and kill sack creatures and draw cards and this and that, you're going to get something back for it. That's great. The power matters so much that it makes it cheaper because you have powerful stuff on the battlefield. 2 mana to double something's power. Amazing. You get a lot of trample stuff. You're going to hit or make it big and then sack it for something crazy. That Ruthless Technomancer I was talking about earlier, that stuff is amazing, dude. You can get so much value out of big creatures. We don't have to just always attack. You can use them other stuff. Draining people out and stuff is awesome. Kite Sail Larcenist. This card's a banger. This card is 3 mana to piss everybody off at the table. You're going to make all their commanders or something good, like something good on their side, a treasure token. They paid way more than the 1 mana that you gave them the back. It is nice. They can get out of the like being held down by Song of the Dryads or something. They can get out of it, and it's a mana towards the recast. They still have to recast it. And then it's a 3-drop little flying creature with ward 1. He's just a little prick. That's what it is. He's got the ward. He's like, screw you. Those are treasures now. You can even turn some crap on your side into a treasure if you need some ramp. The card's awesome. And it's a 3-drop. Sits right in with that Savine's Reclamation and Sun Titan stuff. Oh, it's my favorite. I freaking love this card. Souls of the Lost. Discard or sacrifice for the additional cost on this card is awesome. Another Power Matters dope card. But it's your graveyard, which, how many strategies of graveyards are there? Yeah? Oh, so many. Yeah. 2 mana. Big threat. Can get something in your graveyard or sacrifice something. Is dope. Like, think about this with Skullspore, and then you're like a graveyard deck. This is amazing. This is a very, very strong card. Myco Tyrant. I'm talking about the cards that are good in Myco Tyrant is what I've been doing. Myco Tyrant is insanely strong. The end step, obviously, any commander can or strategy can be just destroyed by like 1 card. You kill Myco Tyrant, you stop their whole thing. You leave it on the battlefield, you're gonna die. That end step trigger, tokens don't work. It has to be an actual card. Permanence with dredge and discard and these wheel style. I mean, you're in Golgari, so you're not really wheeling too hard, but you can get, I mean, you're in Golgari, you can get so much stuff in your graveyard so fast. Like Doom Whisper and this and something that will kill the table, like Mirkwood Bats or Ayara, you are going to just kill the table at the end step. That is just a combo. That's a combination right there. Myco Tyrant's dope. And his power matters. He's huge. He's a trample. You will get commander damage kills with this guy. It's a little win more, but hey, you know, and then you got a bunch of 1/1s. They don't block. They are not great. Other than like tapping them for Convoke and stuff like that, they aren't the best. The no blocking is kind of rough. If they blocked, holy crap, this deck would be even stronger. But yeah, he turns into a big threat and he smacks people. But he's awesome. He's low. He's 3 mana. Dies, he's 5 mana. He dies, he's 7 mana. That's tough, but it's the game plan. You got the board out. He's still going to win. Like, you play him for 7 mana, and on your board, you boop, 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 graveyard, boom, bunch of stuff. It's so strong. So strong. Another legend. Anim Pakil, 1,000th Moon. Anim Pakil, 1,000th Moon. She's dope. Counter strategies. Her attack trigger is going to put the counter on it, but you can put more counters on her, and you're going to make all those gnomes. She doesn't have to attack. That's insane. We've been getting these Adeline style things where you don't have to attack with that creature. Say it just protects it. It's just protection for the creature. But you're going to get a bunch of value, and you get a bunch of 1/1s, and you're going to go wide. This card in Ishin, Two Heavens is one, is busted. The first trigger goes on the stack, you put 1 counter. You make 1 guy. The second trigger goes on, and you put 2 counters on. You're making 3 guys. It's busted. It's very, very strong. A lot of the cards that I'm talking about today are stuff that I've found from the sets, I've picked up for myself, and I've put in decks, played with them, and saw how busted they were. That is Magic the Gathering. Every card is busted. Next, we got Roaming Throne. I'm not even going to talk about this. I'm just kidding. I'm going to talk a lot about this. Kindred decks, tribal decks, there are so many triggered abilities. If you have a bunch of cards that are all zombies or dragons or merfolks or fairies there's a lot of themes. This card is insane. If your commander has 1 trigger, maybe not as much. But if it has multiple triggers, include it. It's going to do what you want. 100%. This card is busted. They've been doubling everything. Enters triggers, tokens, triples tokens. Like, are we going to get a triple trigger double decker supreme soon? When will you stop? When are you going to stop? Next one, Threefold Thunderhawk. First of all, the dopest name ever. It's an artifact. 7-drop. It's a lot of mana. People don't like a lot of mana things. I mean, maybe it's too much cutthroat. But I love bangers, dude. I love them big bangers, dog. You throw out a 7-drop, and this thing's going to create so many artifacts, so many game pieces. And you're going to devastate people. I've died to this, making too many things, and a homie had a Suture Priest out, and it did like a quickie on me, and made more Suture Priests, and I killed myself because I gave this Myriad. It was too many. It was too much damage. I couldn't survive. Next, Spitting Dilophosaurus. I have a Volrath deck. This card is amazing in Volrath. Enters or attacks, you get the -1/-1 counters, and then those creatures can't block. My Volrath deck is like counters as well, so like my side gets big. Black Sun Zenith for 1? Unblockable. Is that just like an overrun, dude? Yeah, bro, it's awesome. And the last card from Ixalan, Illustrious Wanderglyph. It is a Tendershoot Dryad in white for artifacts. Tendershoot Dryad, it's only the plants or saplings or whatever that thing that it makes is what it does. So like there's other cards that make stuff like that. This card is just artifact creatures. Excuse me? It's just artifact creatures. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Oh man, this card is very, very good. It's in white. It's artifact. It is an artifact. Very easy to get. Artifacts are very easy to get out of your deck. Super duper easy. This card's amazing. It's 5-drop Tendershoot that is an artifact base. It's so good. What do you say? Tendershoot's a dope card. This is a doper card. All right, that's Ixalan. Commander Masters, I have 2 cards to talk about. Oh man, I can't do this because it does a Commander Masters. I didn't want to talk about the Commander. It's pretty much the only new cards were from the Commander decks. I want to talk about 2. Narcy, Fabled Singer. Abzan Sagas. You finally get a chance to like weaponize the saga, which sagas can kind of be, I don't know. It's like slow. It's too tedious. It's just too much to do. Now, at least you can end the game. When the game is just continuing while you are accruing value constantly, the game's just gonna be a long game. You have to do those sagas just constantly. I'm talking get these sagas out, burn the table, and end the game. It's got card advantage on it. It has damage on it. It's so good. It's literally so good. And you don't have to do much. Weaponize the sagas. There's a card from Doctor Who that makes your sagas have read ahead. I'm going to put it on the screen if I can find it. That seems really great in this as well. So the last one is Leori, Spark-Touched Hunter. He is the secondary commander in the Guff one, the Planeswalker one. I like this specific theme of Planeswalkers. You could not do that. You could just have separate ones, and whatever's out there when he hits, you call that trigger and you double those, right? And then you plus or minus your Planeswalker and you get a double of that. Or you can just go full Teferis. So now you get 2 Teferis out, you hit. Now both of them are having it. Oh man, Leora is cool. He's a low drop. He's flying. He gives him that evasion is key if you're going to do a combat damage trigger. Teferis, Chandras, Gideons. There's a lot you could do. I really like the Teferis. It's probably annoying for the opponents, but it's probably strong and you're probably drawing a lot of cards and schmooving through your deck. It's pretty cool. He's pretty dope. That is it for Commander Masters. I'm not going to run through that. This is a big one. Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth. This video could just have been about this. Easily. I'm going to try to cruise through this. Sauron the Dark Lord. 4 abilities. Discard your hand to things. You could do Nazgul, or you could make your army evasion. You make army evasion. Yep, advantage. Advantage. He's awesome. He's a beater. That's hexproof. I know it doesn't say hexproof. That's hexproof. Aragorn the Uniter. I like the charms. I love the charms. Jeskai charm. All these cool charms. Commands. The commands. That's what it is. The charms, the commands. Things that are going to get you multiple triggers off this. He's awesome. He's just value. You can do whatever you want. As long as you have like a few pips in each spell, like that's easy. I think this is another one where your board state's going to look different. Because if you have enough charms and commands, I don't know if that's the best deck, but if you have them, it's going to look different. You're going to make a different amount of 1/1s every game. You're going to do more burn. You're going to draw more cards. You're going to get those buffs of power. You know, like Rishkar's Expertise and Return of the Wild Speaker. This is amazing in this deck because it's going to trigger, put the thing on the stack that's going to go off, and then it's going to see how big your biggest creature is. I think he's a 4/4 or 5/5, aka you're going to be drawing a lot of cards with those spells. Palantir of Ornthok. This card's dope. It's just like this small, like accruing value, teeny bit here, teeny bit there. If the first person says draw, stick with that person. It's only going to get worse. They're going to let you draw every time. If the person says lets you do damage, maybe you do attack him again. Gosh, this is a weird one. This is like a mind thing, You get to scry. You get to put stuff on top. If you have bangers in the deck, your opponents are going to know, like, oh, he's got bangers in the deck. I should probably just let him draw a single card. But it's scry to draw a card every end step. Or scary boom boom. And they die. It's a good card. It's a very good card. 4th Irlingus. Don't yell this out in like a Wendy's. Don't do that. It's got card draw on it. It's an X spell that makes creatures. They're badass creatures. Trample and haste. That's so money. That's so good. And then you're probably going to get a Monarch, and you're going to draw a card off it. It's an X spell. It scales with the game. It's an amazing card. I think it's hitting crazy in like Legacy or Vintage. One of those formats gobbled it up, made it the price go up. Puts that Monarch, but you have a bunch of board, right? Like you're in attack. You want to get the Monarch. You only have to. You can make it big. Hit somebody for 1 or 2, save a bunch of blockers. Who's gonna try to get through your blockers? All these 2/2s that you just made. It's awesome. It's humans. They're humans. It's tribal. Let's do it. Another one. Champions of Minas Tirith. People are on and off about Ghostly Prison and propaganda. This is a body. This is a big body that's gonna get you the Monarch and make people think about stuff. Think about your stuff on their turn. They're already trying to make their own decisions. Now they have to take your stuff into consideration. Do I want to save mana up and attack to get the Monarch? Do I want the Monarch that bad? Do I need to put damage through? If somebody's going to kill you, they're going to kill you. They're going to pay the mana. They got the board, and they're going to go through. That's not what we're here for. We're here for like mid-game. Nobody has any crazy stuff. You're going to put it out. People are going to pay that. You're going to keep the Monarch. You're going to draw cards. It's dope, and it's a body. It's cool. But you still get to ask them, like, you gonna pay for all your creatures to attack? They're gonna go, no, F you. Stop asking. But they're your friends, so you say F you too. 2 more. Motivated Pony from the Frodo and Sam commander joint. This thing's sick, dude. If you make foods, this thing's a banger. You're gonna be able to attack, untap your stuff, and everything's gonna get +3/+3. And it has trample too, so he's a beater as well. It's just like it's a weird card, good finisher, food-centric build style extravaganza. It's great. It's cool. Super cool. Cards that just push through the damage, dude. That's my jam, dog. Or it's my honey, jam, whatever. I kiss it on the lips. Endural Narsil Reforged. This card is insane. Ascend is super easy to get in Commander, and the attack trigger. So I want to pair this up with Ishin. In Ishin, this is bonkers. You're putting 4 counters on all your creatures when you attack. That's very, very good. You're gonna kill somebody very fast. But even not in Ishin, two counters on all your creatures when you attack. Ascend is not a thing. Let's just pretend it's not real. It's pretty easy to get that if you're in a deck that wants counters on all your creatures, aka you probably have enough creatures out. It's a good card. Lord of the Rings, done. Holy crap, that is just nonstop. Doctor Who had hits, baby. Danny Pink. All your creatures have like a static ability of when a counter is put on it for the first time each turn, draw a card. And he has Mentor, so he puts it on the creatures. That's a great card draw out thing. Counter strategy, you're in blue. Might be a little weird, but there's a lot of good 3-color counter or 2-color counter synergies, like Pure and Toothy, stuff like that. Like I don't know if you need it, and there's already probably way too more explosive stuff than that, but it's still good. I paired this up with Shadrick's Silver Quill. You pick the counter one on combat, you put a counter on everybody, you draw all those cards. That's so insane. That's awesome. That's all I want to do. It has to be an Esper deck, yeah. But that's what I'm doing, baby. I'm in Rafine, doggy. Let's do it. Next, Heaven Sent. 2 mana to just have something always going on. I wish this could go in every single deck. It's making you tokens. That is card draw. You know, it's not the most efficient card draw, but it's still good. It's still fantastic. Like I said earlier, 2 mana. Just 2 mana in Commander is an awesome thing to have. Boom. Draw a card. Boom. Do a thing. Do a dance. Make a little love. All that stuff. It's great. Next, Vashta Narada. Shadow. Indestructible. Each end step, if a creature died, put a counter on him. Which is a little unfortunate. I wish you could just boom, 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 pile them up. But it's easy to get a counter on. And he's gonna hit. He's gonna hit. Shadow is unblockable. He's gonna hit every single time. And triggers for combat damage, stuff like that. Like you put this with a professional face breaker or something that needs to get through Grim Hairling. This is a great card. I put this in my Volrath deck, and this is fantastic. This is unblockable Volrath. This is indestructible Volrath. This is bigger Volrath with the end step trigger. This thing's great. This guy's awesome. It's like under the radar, too. I don't see anybody talking about that card. Next on the thing, Cyberman Squadron. It's a 7-drop. I love, like, the splashy, stupid spells. You're going to... Myriad and all your artifact creatures, non-legendary artifact creatures? Holy crap. Holy crap. Phyrexian Metamorph. Mirror Battlesphere, Worm Coil Engine. This is awesome. This is freaking awesome. This is a sweet card. And then another card that I think is just bonkers. This is probably one of the best cards in Doctor Who. It's probably my favorite card in Doctor Who. Is Auton Soldier. It's an artifact. It comes in. It's a copy of something. Then it isn't legendary, and it gives it Myriad. Why did it need all these things? Oh, because it's a 6-drop. Well, I love 6-drops. I don't know how to feel. It's a good card. It's overperformed literally every single time I played it. Get this card. It is very, very good. And the non-legendary thing just breaks commanders. Breaks things. It's so strong. I talked about this one earlier. Nano Gene Conversion. You pick a card, any card, and all the cards become the cards. Yeah, your creature, you pick. All your creatures become that creature. You can do busted stuff with this, especially like combat triggers or attack triggers, dies triggers. It gets crazy. Your commander is always pretty integral part to your strategy majority of the times. This card is bonkers, so strong. Ensnared by the Mara. I just like little sneaky games. I want to be the villain every once in a while. You go, hey buddy, let me play the card. Or they mill and they take that damage. What if you have like a damage doubler? That's awesome. Soulflum or something. Soulflum. We talked about the Dominuses. They're really good. Soulflum seems really good with this card. I can imagine they're going to take the damage majority of the time, but it's only 4 damage to probably put out like, what, maybe like 10-ish damage to each player. Maybe a little bit lower, but 10 damage to each player for 4 mana. Awesome. Or you're getting cards. Sick. We know how good Atali was. Well, it's not. I'm not even. No. I don't know. No. I don't want to talk about it. Last one, bigger on the inside. It's ramp. It's slow ramp. But then it's value. It's just, you get Cascade on your spells. Like that, what the heck? My spell that already does too many things now does way too many things. This card's awesome. And it goes infinite with Staff of Domination because it's 1 to untap. So you just tap it. Your next spell gets Cascade. I think you can do that multiple times. And then boom, bing, bong. You win because you have Cascade, you cast your whole deck. That sounds awesome. I want the opponents to sit through that. The grueling experience. Get it? Grueling because it's gruel. That's it. That was way too many cards. I'm just kidding. I'm going to start the second half of my thing where I go back over all the sets. Ha! Got him. No. We're done here. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. The lighting is better, and we're going to get some cool stuff for the wall and stuff. This is Alpha 2. Let's go. Yee. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Tell the homies. It's a Magic channel. I'm going to try to make videos as fast as possible. We'll see you next time, and don't forget your Alpha T. See ya.